The message that changed everything. Hello everyone, my name is Sarah, and I'm sitting here in my quiet living room looking out at the rain falling softly on the window. It's been a long time since I've shared something this personal, but I feel like I need to. This story is about me and my best friend from childhood, Emily. Or at least, she was my best friend once. We grew up together, shared everything, and then life got in the way. But let me start from the beginning, because this isn't just any story. It's about regret, the kind that sits heavy in your chest for years. And it's about a last wish that came too late, or maybe just in time. I hope you'll listen, because if you've ever lost touch with someone you loved, this might feel familiar. Imagine this. It's a normal evening. I'm scrolling through my phone, sipping tea, when a message pops up from a number I don't recognize. The words hit me like a wave. Sarah, it's Emily. I don't have much time left. Can we talk? There's something I need to say. My heart stopped. Emily? The girl I laughed with under the stars? The one who knew all my secrets? We hadn't spoken in over 15 years. Why now? What could she possibly want after all this silence? I stared at the screen, my hands shaking. This wasn't just a hello. It was a plea from someone facing the end. And in that moment, all the memories came rushing back. The good ones, the painful ones. But what happened next? Well, that's what this story is about. Keep listening, because the regret I felt that night changed me forever. Let me take you back to where it all started. I was born in a small town called Willow Creek, the kind of place where everyone knows your name, and kids play outside until the streetlights come on. It was the 1980s, and life felt simple. My family lived in a little blue house with a big backyard. My dad worked at the local mill, and my mom was a teacher at the elementary school. I had an older brother, but he was always off with his friends, so I spent a lot of time alone. That is, until Emily moved in next door when we were both 6 years old. Emily's family came from the city. Her dad got a job at the bank, and they bought the house right beside ours. I remember the day they arrived. I was sitting on my porch, swinging my legs, when this girl with curly brown hair and a big smile waved at me from their moving truck. "Hi, I'm Emily. Want to help me unpack my toys?" she asked. Just like that, we were friends. It was easy, the way friendships are when you're little. No worries, no judgments. We spent that whole afternoon playing with her dolls and my toy cars, laughing until our sides hurt. From then on, we were inseparable. Every morning, I'd knock on her door and we'd walk to school together. Our classrooms were next to each other. And at recess, we'd sit under the big oak tree, sharing sandwiches and secrets. "Sarah, when we grow up, let's live in the same house," she'd say. "We can have a garden and bake cookies every day." I'd nod, feeling so happy. She was like the sister I never had. Emily was adventurous, always coming up with ideas, like building forts in the woods or pretending we were explorers. I was quieter, but she brought me out of my shell. Together, we felt unstoppable. Our families got close too. My mom and her mom would chat over coffee, sharing recipes. On weekends, we'd have barbecues in the backyard. Emily's little brother Tim was just a toddler then, and we'd take turns pushing him on the swing. Life felt warm and safe, but even back then, there were small things I didn't notice. Emily's dad worked long hours, and sometimes I'd hear her parents arguing through the open windows. She never talked about it, though. She'd just smile and say, "Let's go play." I wish I'd asked more questions. Maybe that was the start of the unspoken words between us. We got older, into our preteens. Things stayed good for a while. We were 11 when we had our first big adventure. It was summer, and we decided to camp out in the backyard. We set up a tent with old blankets and flashlights. That night, lying side by side, we talked about our dreams. "I want to be a writer," I said. "Tell stories about people like us." Emily giggled. "I'll be an artist. We can make books together." We promised to always be there for each other. Pinky swear. Looking back, those promises felt so real, but life has a way of testing them. School got harder as we entered middle school. We were 13 now, and cliques started forming. Emily was outgoing, so she made friends easily with the popular kids. I was more into books and stayed with my small group. At first, it didn't matter. We'd still meet after school, riding our bikes to the park. But slowly, things shifted. One day, she invited me to a party with her new friends. I went. But I felt out of place. They talked about clothes and boys, things I didn't care about yet. Emily tried to include me, but I left early, saying I had homework. She called later. "Sarah, why'd you go? We missed you." I said I was tired, but really, I felt like I didn't fit. That was the first crack, I think. Small, but there. We still hung out, but less often. High school came, and we were 15. Classes separated us more. Emily joined the cheerleading squad, and I was in the literature club. Our schedules clashed. She'd wave in the halls, but our deep talks became quick hellos. One afternoon, she came over, excited. "Sarah, there's this boy, Jake. He asked me out." I smiled, but inside I felt a pang. Who was Jake? Why hadn't she told me sooner? We used to share everything. Over the next year, the distance grew. Emily spent more time with her cheer friends. I'd see her at games, laughing with them. I made new friends too, but none like her. There was a misunderstanding one day. I overheard her friends teasing me, calling me the bookworm. Emily laughed along. It hurt. When I asked her about it, she said, "They were just joking. Don't be so sensitive." I nodded, but the words stuck. We didn't fight big. It was quiet hurts that built up. By 17, we were seniors. College talk started. I wanted to stay local, study English. Emily dreamed of art school in the city. "Sarah, come with me," she said once. But I was scared of change. "I can't afford it," I replied. Truth was, I didn't want to leave home. She got accepted to a school far away. The night before she left, we sat on her porch. "Promise we'll call," she said. I hugged her. Of course. But deep down, I felt the end coming. She moved, and at first, we texted. But life got busy. My job at the library, her classes. Calls turned to messages, then nothing. A year passed. I heard she was dating someone new. I dated too, but it didn't last. The silence grew. I thought about reaching out. But what if she didn't care? Pride, maybe. Or fear. That's how friendships fade. Not with a bang, but with whispers that stop. Years went by. I got married to Tom, a kind man from town. We had 2 kids, Lily and Max. Life was good, busy with family. Emily? I heard bits from mutual friends. She became an artist, married, had a daughter. But we never spoke. Until that message. When I read it, my mind raced. I don't have much time left. What did that mean? Cancer? An accident? I typed back, "Emily, what's wrong? Of course we can talk." But no reply that night. I lay awake, memories flooding. The laughs, the secrets, and the regrets. Why didn't I fight harder to stay close? What unspoken words had I left? The next morning, my phone rang. It was her. Her voice was weak, but familiar. "Sarah, thank you for answering." We talked for hours. She told me about her life, her illness. "Terminal," she said. My heart broke. But then she said, "There's something I need to tell you about why we drifted." What was it? A secret from our past? Keep listening, because what she revealed next shattered me. That conversation opened old wounds, but it also brought a chance for healing. Or so I thought. What Emily confessed changed how I saw our friendship. It was about a betrayal I never knew. But that's for the next part. If you're feeling the weight of this story like I did, stay with me. There's more to come. Let me go deeper into those childhood days, because that's where the bond was strongest. Back when we were 7, we had this treehouse in the woods behind our houses. It was just some boards nailed to branches. But to us, it was a castle. We'd climb up with snacks and books, spending hours there. One day, it rained hard, and we got stuck. Emily held my hand. "Don't be scared, Sarah. We're together." We sang songs until the rain stopped. Moments like that made me feel safe. As we turned 8, school projects brought us closer. We did a science fair together, building a volcano. It won first place. Emily's drawings made it look amazing. "We make a great team," she said. I agreed. Our teachers called us the dynamic duo. At home, we'd bake with our moms. Cookies, cakes, messy, but fun. Emily's mom taught us her special recipe for chocolate chip. "This is for best friends," she'd say. 9 years old, we got bikes for Christmas. Pink for her, blue for me. We rode everywhere. The park, the lake. One time, I fell and scraped my knee. Emily helped me home, bandaged it. "I'll always take care of you," she promised. I believed her. 10, and sleepovers became weekly. We'd whisper late into the night about crushes, fears. "What if we grow apart?" I asked once. Emily laughed. "Never. We're forever." 11, the camping trip. 12, we joined Girl Scouts, sold cookies door to door. 13, middle school dances. She dragged me to one. "Dance with me," she said. We twirled, giggling. But 14 brought changes. Hormones, I guess. Emily got interested in makeup. I didn't. She tried to teach me. "It'll be fun." I tried, but felt silly. Small differences. 15, high school. She made the cheer team. Practice took her time. I'd wait, but she came less. "Sorry, Sarah. Busy." I understood, but missed her. 16, she had her first boyfriend. I felt left out. We'd talk, but it was different. 17, college apps. She was excited for city life. I wasn't. "Stay with me," I thought, but didn't say. That's the backstory. Now, back to the call. Emily said, "Sarah, remember that party in high school? The one where my friends teased you?" I did. I should have stood up for you. But there's more. What more? A lie? A secret? The tension built as she spoke. But just as she was about to reveal it, she coughed, said she needed rest. "Tomorrow," she promised. What was the secret? Keep going to find out. Let me tell you about our families more. My dad was quiet, loved fishing. He'd take us sometimes. Emily caught her first fish, screamed with joy. My mom was warm, always hugging. Emily's mom was artistic, painted pictures. Her dad was strict, but kind to me. Tim, her brother, adored us. We'd play hide and seek. One memory, at 9, we had a lemonade stand, made $10, spent it on ice cream. Happy days. Another, 12, we found a stray cat, named it Whiskers. Our parents let us keep it shared. It lived between houses. 13, first period. Emily got hers first. Explained to me. It's normal, she said. Helped me when mine came. 14. We tried smoking a cigarette from her older cousin. Coughed, hated it. Never again, we vowed. 15. She broke up with her boyfriend. I comforted her with hot chocolate. You're better without him. 16. I had a crush on a boy. She helped me write a note. He said yes, but it fizzled. 17. Graduation. We hugged, cried. Don't forget me. After she left, I felt lost, made new friends, but not the same. Got a job, met Tom at 19. He was steady, made me laugh. Married at 23. Lily born at 25. Max at 27. Life moved on. Emily's life. From friends, I heard she struggled in city. Partied too much, dropped out, then got back on track, became graphic designer. Married at 26, daughter Anna at 28. Divorced at 35. Then illness at 40. Now, 42, the message. On the call, she said, Sarah, I have cancer. Months left. I need to make peace. I cried. Why didn't we stay in touch? That's what I want to tell you. It's my fault. There was something I did. What was it? The line went quiet. Emily? No answer. Had she fainted? My heart pounded. What happened next? I called back, but no pickup. All night I worried. The next day, another message. Sorry, weak. Let's talk tonight. What was the betrayal? Stay tuned. This is getting emotional for me. Pausing here to breathe. If you're feeling it too, that's good. Stories like this remind us to cherish friends. More backstory. Our town had a festival every summer. At 10, we won the pie-eating contest. At 12, danced on stage. Fun times. At 13, we had our first fight. Over a toy. Made up in hours. 14, she helped me with math. I helped her with English. 15, we dreamed of traveling. Paris, she said, someday, but we never did. Now, the call continued that night. She said, remember Jake, my boyfriend? I did. He liked you first. I knew, but I went for him anyway, to keep you close or something stupid. Jealousy. Is that it? The betrayal? It stung. Why? I asked. I was afraid you'd find someone else as friend. We talked more. Tears on both sides. But there's more. She had a wish. Come see me, Sarah. Before it's too late. Would I go? The trip was long. Family. Work. But regret pushed me. I booked the ticket, but on the way, a call from her doctor. She's worse. Would I make it? The weight of unspoken words is heavy. I realized how much I missed her. The kids asked, Who's Emily, Mom? I told them, my old friend, like a sister. Tom supported. Go. Sarah, you need this. So I packed, flew out, arrived at the hospital. She looked frail, but smiled. You came. We hugged. Of course. Then the real talk began. About the rift. Misunderstandings. She said, after I left, I called once. You didn't answer. I didn't remember. Maybe I was out. Small things like that built the wall. Her wish, forgive me, and let's remember the good. I did, but the emotion was deep. We spent days talking. Her daughter Anna came, looked like her. Meet your Aunt Sarah, Emily said. It felt good, but her health declined. One night she said, if I don't make it, tell Anna our stories. I promised. Then the turning point approached. But that's for next part. If this story is touching you, like and subscribe for more. The secrets we never shared. Hello again. It's Sarah here, still thinking about that hospital room where everything changed. If you stayed with me through the first part, thank you. It means a lot. I know these stories can feel heavy, but they're real. And sometimes, sharing the hard parts helps the heart heal a little. Last time, I told you about the message that came out of nowhere. Emily, after 15 years of silence, reaching out because her time was running out. I flew to her city, walked into that quiet room, and held her hand for the first time since we were girls. We cried, we smiled, and then she started telling me things I never knew were hiding between us all those years. Things that explained the slow fade of our friendship. Keep listening, because what she said next made me see our whole childhood in a different light. When I arrived, Emily looked so small in that bed. Her curly hair was gone from the treatments, covered by a soft scarf. But her eyes were still the same, warm brown, full of life, even when her body wasn't. She squeezed my hand. "Sarah, you came. I wasn't sure you would." I sat down beside her. "Of course I came. You're my oldest friend." She smiled weakly. "Was I? After everything?" I didn't know what she meant yet, but I was about to find out. We talked about safe things first. Her daughter, Anna, who was 12 now and loved drawing just like her mom. My kids, Lily and Max, and how fast they were growing. The town, how Willow Creek hadn't changed much. The old oak tree at school was still there. It felt good to remember the easy parts, but I could feel something heavier waiting under the surface. Emily kept pausing, looking at me like she wanted to say more. Finally, she took a deep breath. "Sarah, there's a reason I stopped calling all those years ago. It wasn't just being busy." My heart started beating faster. I thought maybe it was the jealousy over Jake, the boy she mentioned on the phone. But no, this was deeper. She looked away for a moment. "Do you remember the summer after graduation, when I moved to the city for art school?" I nodded. How could I forget? It was the last time we really talked. She continued, "I called you a few times that first month. You never picked up. I left voicemails." I frowned. I didn't remember any voicemails. "Emily, I would have called back. I promise." She closed her eyes. "I know, but one day I called your house. Your mom answered. She said you were out with friends. Then she said something that hurt me so much." I waited. My stomach felt tight. She said, "Emily, Sarah's making new friends here. Maybe it's time you both moved on. College is a fresh start." I felt the air leave my lungs. My mom said that? "Emily, I never knew. She never told me you called." Tears rolled down her cheeks. I believed her. I thought you didn't want to talk anymore, that you were done with me. So I stopped trying. I shook my head. No, that's not true. I waited for your calls. I thought you forgot about me in the big city." We sat there in silence for a minute. All those years lost because of one conversation I never even knew about. A misunderstanding that grew into a wall. But that wasn't all. Emily wiped her eyes. "There's more. Something from earlier. When we were 16. I searched my memory. 16 was the year everything started feeling different. She was with Jake. I was pulling away. "Remember the night of the spring dance?" she asked. I did. She went with Jake. I stayed home, said I didn't feel well. Truth was, I didn't want to watch them together. She looked down at her hands. After the dance, Jake walked me home. We sat on my porch. He told me he wished he'd asked you instead. I blinked. "Jake liked me?" I was so surprised, she said. "I thought he only saw me as a friend, but I liked him too, and I was scared. Scared that if he dated you, I'd lose you both." I stayed quiet, letting her speak. "So I kissed him that night, and I never told you he liked you first. I told myself it was okay, that you didn't even like him that way, but deep down, I knew it was selfish." Felt a quiet ache in my chest. Not anger, just sadness. "Emily, I didn't know." She nodded. I know, but I carried that guilt for years. Every time I thought about calling you, it stopped me. I felt like I didn't deserve your friendship anymore. I reached for her hand again. You did. We were kids. We made mistakes. But even as I said it, I felt the weight of what we'd lost. There was one more thing, the hardest one. Emily's voice got softer. When I dropped out of art school the first time, I came home for a weekend. I didn't tell anyone. I was ashamed. I walked past your house, saw you in the yard with Tom. You looked so happy, laughing. I stood there watching for a minute. Then I left without saying hello. My eyes filled with tears. Why didn't you come in? She shrugged. I thought you'd moved on, that I didn't fit in your new life anymore. All these moments, small choices, unspoken fears, they added up to years of silence. I thought about my side too, how I never reached out either, how pride kept me from picking up the phone, how I told myself she was too busy for me. We both carry blame, but sitting there, holding her hand, it didn't feel like blame anymore. It felt like shared regret, the kind that softens with understanding. That night, I stayed late. The nurses let me. We talked until she fell asleep. I watched her breathing, slow and steady. And I made a promise to myself. No more unspoken words. Not with her. Not if I could help it. The next morning, Anna came to visit. She was shy at first, hiding behind her sketchbook. But Emily introduced us. This is Sarah, my best friend from when I was your age. Anna looked at me with big eyes. Mom talks about you all the time. I smiled. Does she? Emily nodded. I told Anna our stories. The treehouse, the lemonade stand, the cat we shared. Anna showed me her drawings. Beautiful. Just like her mom's used to be. We sat together, coloring while Emily rested. It felt like family. But Emily was getting weaker each day. The doctors said it could be weeks, maybe less. I extended my stay. Tom understood. Be there as long as she needs, he said. I called my kids every night, told them about their Aunt Emily. They wanted to meet her. I promised they would someday. One afternoon, Emily asked me to read to her. I brought an old book from my bag, one we loved as kids, about two girls on adventures. My voice shook at first, but then it steadied. She listened with her eyes closed, smiling. When I finished a chapter, she whispered, "Thank you for coming back to me." I whispered back, "Thank you for calling." But there was still her last wish, the real one. Not just forgiveness, something bigger. She told me on the third day, "Sarah, when I'm gone, I want you to promise me something." I leaned closer. What was it? Something about Anna? A letter? Keep listening. Because her wish broke my heart in a way I wasn't ready for. Emily took my hand and said, "I need you to raise Anna if anything happens to me." Wait, what? I froze. Was she serious? But before I could answer, the monitors started beeping. Nurses rushed in. Her condition was worsening fast. Would she make it through the night? That evening, the doctor pulled me aside. "We're doing everything we can, but you should prepare." My mind spun. Anna was in the waiting room. Scared. What would I tell her? And what about Emily's wish? I sat in the chapel for a while, just thinking, praying maybe. All the years we missed, all the love we still had. I realized something important. Friendships like ours don't really end. They just wait, sometimes for a lifetime. The next day, Emily woke up stronger. A small miracle. She smiled when she saw me. "Did I scare you?" I nodded. "A little." We laughed quietly. Then she said it again. Sarah, about Anna. Her dad isn't in the picture. My parents are gone. You're the only person I trust to love her like I do. I felt tears coming. This was huge. My life was full. Kids, husband, home. But looking at Anna drawing quietly in the corner, something shifted inside me. We talked for hours about it. Practical things, legal things, but mostly heart things. She already likes you, Emily said. Anna looked up and smiled. I smiled back. Maybe this was meant to be. But life doesn't make it that simple. That night, I got a call from home. Max was sick, high fever. Tom was worried. I had to choose. Stay with Emily or go home to my son. My heart pulled in two directions. I booked a flight for the morning, but at 3 a.m., the hospital called. Come quickly. It's time. Would I make it back before she slipped away? Or would I miss my chance to say goodbye? If this story is touching your heart like it touched mine, stay with me. The hardest part is coming, but so is the healing. The night I almost missed. Hello again. It's still me, Sarah, sitting here with a cup of tea that's gone cold. I can't stop thinking about that night, the one where everything hung in the balance. If you've been with me this far, thank you. I know it's hard to hear about someone slipping away, but it's also hard to carry these memories alone. Last time, I left you at that terrible phone call in the early hours. I was already on my way to the airport to fly home to my sick little boy when the hospital rang. Come quickly, they said. It's time. My heart dropped. I had to choose in a split second. My son who needed me, or my oldest friend who might not make it through the night. I turned the car around. I don't know if it was the right choice or the wrong one, but it was the only one I could live with. Keep listening, because what happened in those final hours brought everything full circle. I drove back through the dark streets, tears blurring the lights. My hand shook on the wheel. I kept thinking, please let me make it. Please let her still be here. I called Tom from the car. His voice was calm, even though I knew he was worried. Max's fever broke, he said softly. He's sleeping now. Go to her, Sarah. We're okay. I cried harder then, not from guilt, but from gratitude. Tom always knew when to hold me up. I reached the hospital just after 4 in the morning. The halls were quiet. Only the soft beeps of machines and the squeak of nurses' shoes. They let me straight into her room. Emily was there, pale against the white sheets, breathing slow and shallow. Anna was curled up in the chair beside her, asleep with her head on the bed. A nurse touched my shoulder gently. She's been asking for you. I sat down and took Emily's hand. It was cool, but she squeezed back, just a little. Her eyes fluttered open. You came back, she whispered. Her voice was so faint, I had to lean close. I told her about Max getting better. She nodded. Your boy needs you. But I needed you tonight too. After a while, she asked me to wake Anna. The girl stirred, rubbed her eyes, and crawled onto the bed beside her mom. Emily wrapped an arm around her. Sweetheart, she said. Sarah's here. Remember what we talked about? Anna nodded, tears already starting. She looked at me with those big brown eyes, so much like Emily's when we were young. Mom says you'll take care of me, she whispered. My throat closed up. I reached out and touched her cheek. If that's what your mom wants, then yes, I'll be here for you, always. Emily looked at both of us, her eyes shining. I was so scared to ask, she said to me. But you're the only person who knows what it feels like to love someone like family from the very first day. I nodded, unable to speak. She continued, voice soft but clear. Promise me you'll tell Anna our stories. the treehouse, the lemonade stand, the cat, all of it. So she knows who her mom was before she got sick. I promised. Every single one. And I'll show her the places when she's ready. Willow Creek, the oak tree, everything. We spent the rest of the night talking in whispers. Emily told Anna little things, where her favorite blanket was, how she liked her tea, who to call if she had a bad dream. Simple, everyday things that suddenly felt sacred. She told me where important papers were kept, passwords, the name of her lawyer. Practical things wrapped in love. And then she said something I'll never forget. "Sarah, I'm sorry for the years we lost, but I'm not sorry for the years we had." They were enough to last a lifetime. The sun started coming up, pale light filling the room. Emily's breathing grew slower. She looked peaceful. Anna had fallen asleep again, tucked against her. I kept holding her hand. At one point, she opened her eyes and said, "Do you remember the pinky swear under the stars?" I smiled through tears. "When we promised to be friends forever?" She nodded weakly. "We kept it. We just took the long way." I squeezed her fingers. We did. Around 7 in the morning, the nurse checked in. Emily was still with us, but fading. The doctor came quietly and told me it would be soon. I called Tom again, put him on speaker so Emily could hear his voice. "We love you, Emily," he said gently. "Take care of our Sarah." She managed a tiny smile. I tried. Anna woke up then. She knew. We all knew. She climbed closer and laid her head on her mom's chest. "I love you, Mommy," she whispered over and over. Emily's lips moved. "I love you more." Those were her last words to her daughter. To me, she looked straight in my eyes and mouthed, "Thank you." Then her hand relaxed in mine. She slipped away just as the sun cleared the buildings outside the window. Quiet, peaceful, like falling asleep after a long day. Anna cried softly into her shoulder. I held them both, rocking gently. There were no loud sobs, no drama, just deep, quiet sadness, the kind that fills every corner of your heart. The nurses gave us time. I don't know how long we sat there. Eventually, Anna looked up at me. "Is she really gone?" I nodded, tears falling. "Yes, sweetheart, but she's not hurting anymore." Anna thought for a moment. "She said you'd stay with me." I hugged her close. "I'm not going anywhere." Later that morning, I made the calls. To Emily's lawyer, to her few close friends from the city, to my family back home. Tom booked flights for all of us to come out for the service. Lily and Max wanted to meet Anna. "She's our cousin now," Lily said on the phone. Kids understand these things in the simplest way. The next days were a blur of arrangements. Emily had planned most of it already. Simple, no fuss. She wanted to be cremated and have her ashes scattered in 2 places. Half in Willow Creek under our old oak tree. Half in the city park where she used to sketch with Anna. I promised to make it happen. Anna stayed with me in Emily's small apartment. We packed a few things, her drawings, favorite books, the scarf she wore during treatments. I found a box of old photos Emily had kept. Pictures of us as kids, me and her on bikes, at graduation. One from the treehouse, arms around each other, grinning. I sat on the floor with Anna, and we looked through them. She asked questions. Was my mom always happy? I thought carefully. She had hard days, like everyone. But when she was with you, and when she remembered our childhood, she was happy. She was very happy. One night, Anna couldn't sleep. She crawled into bed beside me. "Will you tell me a story about when you were little?" I started with the day Emily moved in next door. how she waved from the truck and asked me to play. Anna listened, eyes wide, until she drifted off. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling. Emily's wish was coming true already. The stories were keeping her alive. The service was small, just the people who truly knew her. We gathered in the city park first. Anna scattered the first half of the ashes near a bench where Emily loved to sit. Then we flew home to Willow Creek. My parents came, Tom's family, old neighbors. We walked to the schoolyard where the oak tree still stood, tall and strong. Anna held the little urn. She opened it and let the breeze take the rest. "Bye, Mommy," she whispered. "I'll visit you here." That night, back at our house, Anna met Lily and Max. They were shy at first, but kids find their way. By bedtime, they were playing board games, laughing. I watched from the doorway and felt something warm settle in my chest. Not happiness exactly, too soon for that, but peace. Emily's last wish wasn't just about raising Anna. It was about bringing our worlds together, mending what was broken. A few weeks later, we made it official. Papers signed. Anna became part of our family. She has her own room now, painted soft blue like Emily's old bedroom. She hung her drawings on the walls. Sometimes she calls me Sarah, sometimes Aunt Sarah. We're figuring it out together. I still miss Emily every day. There's a quiet space where her laugh used to be. But I talk to her when I'm alone. I tell her about Anna's school play, about Max's soccer games, about how the oak tree is turning colors this fall. And I think she hears me. Months have passed now. Anna is settling in, and life feels almost normal again. But last week, a letter arrived. One Emily wrote before she got too weak. She asked the lawyer to mail it a year later. My hands shook as I opened it. What did she need to say that she couldn't tell me in person? Inside was a single page and something small wrapped in tissue. The words started, "If you're reading this, I made you wait long enough for one last secret." What was it? A confession? A gift? Something we missed all those years. If your heart is aching with me right now, stay until the end. The final part is coming. It's about forgiveness, family, and the quiet kind of healing that comes when you finally speak the unspoken words. The letter she left behind. Hello again. It's Sarah, speaking to you softly, like we're sitting together on a quiet evening. The house is calm tonight. The kids are asleep upstairs. Anna's light is still on. She likes to draw before bed, just like her mom did. It's been almost a year now since Emily left us. Time moves in gentle ways when you're healing. The sharp pain has softened into a warm ache, the kind that reminds you how much you loved someone. If you've stayed with me through the tears and the goodbyes, thank you. This is the final part of our story. It's about a letter that arrived long after everything seemed finished. A letter that held one last secret, one last gift. Keep listening, because sometimes the most beautiful things come after the ending. It was an ordinary Tuesday morning in early spring. The postman dropped the mail through the slot like always. Bills, a magazine, a few flyers, and then a plain white envelope with my name written in handwriting I hadn't seen in years. Emily's handwriting. Neat loops, a little slant to the right. My heart skipped. How could this be? She'd been gone 11 months. I sat down at the kitchen table, hands trembling a little, and opened it carefully. Inside was a single folded page and something small wrapped in pale blue tissue paper. The letter started with her familiar greeting. Dear Sarah, My oldest friend. I took a slow breath and began to read. Sarah, if you're reading this, the lawyer followed my instructions and waited a full year. I asked him to do that on purpose. I wanted you to have time first. Time to grieve. Time to settle Anna into your home. Time to feel the shape of life without me. Before I said one more thing, already know most of my heart. We said the important words in that hospital room. We forgave each other. We remembered the good. But there's one thing I never told you, not even in those last days. I was saving it, partly because I was scared, and partly because I wanted you to find it when you were strong enough. Do you remember when we were 14 and found that old cigar box in the woods behind the school? We called it our treasure box. We buried it under the big rock near the creek and swore we'd put our most secret wishes in it, things we were too afraid to say out loud. We wrote them on little pieces of paper, folded them tiny, and dropped them in. Then we covered it up and promised to dig it up when we were grown-ups, married, with kids of our own. I went back for it, Sarah. The summer I came home from art school and saw you with Tom. The weekend I stood outside your house and didn't knock. I was feeling lost that day. I walked to the creek, found the rock, still there after all those years, and dug it up with my hands. The box was rusty, but inside our papers were dry. I read them under the trees. Mine said silly things. I wished to live in a house with a yellow door. I wished to see Paris. But yours broke my heart all over again. Your paper said, I'll wish Emily never leaves me. Even when we're old ladies, I want her beside me. I cried that day by the creek. I felt like the worst friend in the world. I'd already started pulling away. I was scared of growing up, scared of losing you to new people, new places. And there was your wish, still waiting in the dark. I couldn't face you after reading it. So I put everything back, covered the box, and walked away. I told myself I'd tell you someday. But someday kept getting farther away. Now, someday is here, but I'm not. So I'm sending you what I should have given you years ago. Open the tissue. Sarah, I love you. I always did. Thank you for keeping our pinky swear, even when it took the long way. Forever your friend, Emily. I sat there for a long time, tears falling onto the table. Then I unfolded the tissue paper. Inside was a small, rusty cigar box. The same one. A little dented, earth still clinging to the edges. My fingers remembered the feel of it instantly. I opened the lid slowly. The folded papers were still there, faded, but safe. Mine with the wish I'd forgotten I'd written. Hers with the yellow door and Paris. And on top, a new paper in her grown-up handwriting. It said, I came back for this box one more time, last year, before I got too sick to travel. I added this note so you'd know, you never lost me. I was always beside you, even when we were quiet. Now Anna will grow up knowing both of us. Our stories live in her, and in you. The wish came true, Sarah. We made it to old ladies together, just not the way we pictured. I held that box to my chest and cried the kind of tears that wash everything clean. Not just sad tears, grateful ones, relieved ones. The regret I'd carried for so long lifted, gentle as a breath. That night, I called Anna downstairs. She was 13 now, taller, her curls longer. We sat on the porch swing, the one Tom built the summer Emily passed. I showed her the box, told her the story of two 14-year-old girls who thought they could keep time from changing them. She listened quietly, tracing the rusty edges with her finger. Can we add something? She asked. I nodded. We each wrote a new wish on fresh paper. Anna's said, "I wish to be brave like my mom and kind like Aunt Sarah." Mine said, "I wish to keep telling their stories so no one forgets how much two friends can love each other." We walked to the backyard where we'd planted a small oak tree the year before, a sapling from near the old school. We dug a little hole beside its roots and buried the box again. This time, not to hide secrets, but to grow them, like roots feeding the tree above. Life moves forward in soft ways now. Anna calls me mom sometimes, without thinking. It doesn't feel like replacing Emily. It feels like extending her. Lily and Max treat Anna like the big sister they always wanted. We visit the big oak tree in town every summer, leave flowers, tell new stories, and every year, on the day Emily left us, we scatter a few wildflower seeds in the city park too. I learned something through all of this, something quiet and true. Friendships don't break when people drift. They pause, they wait. And sometimes, if you're lucky, a message comes, or a letter, or a box from the past, and gives you the chance to finish the sentence you started when you were 6 years old. So if there's someone you've lost touch with, someone whose laugh still echoes in your heart, reach out, send the text, make the call, dig up the old box, whatever that means for you, because time is kind and cruel all at once. It takes people away, but it also brings second chances wrapped in unexpected envelopes. Emily's last wish wasn't really about raising Anna. It was about reminding both of us, that love doesn't end with silence. It just waits for the right moment to speak again. Thank you for listening to our story, for holding space for the tears and the smiles. This was my true story. Well, ours, Emily's and mine, and now Anna's too. If it touched your heart the way it still touches mine, please like this video, share it with someone who might need to hear it, and subscribe for more real stories told gently. We all carry unspoken words sometimes. Maybe today is the day to set them free. Take care of your friends. Take care of your heart. Good night. This was our true story. Thank you for staying until the end. Subscribe for more grandma-style stories told with love. The years that followed. Living her wish. Hello again, my friend. It's Sarah speaking to you from the same quiet corner of the house where I read Emily's last letter. It's been a few years now since that spring morning when the cigar box came back into my life. Time has a way of softening the edges, doesn't it? The deep sorrow has turned into something gentler, a warm remembering that visits me on quiet evenings or when I see Anna laugh in a certain way. If you've come back for this final chapter, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I didn't plan to keep talking after the letter, but life kept unfolding, and some stories need a little more room to breathe. This part is about what happened next, about keeping a promise, about watching love grow in places you never expected. So settle in with me. Let's walk through the years that followed Emily's last wish. Anna moved in with us permanently that summer after the funeral. She was 12, almost 13, carrying a small suitcase and a backpack full of sketchbooks. I remember standing on the porch, watching her walk up the path. She looked so small against the big oak tree in our yard. Lily and Max were peeking from behind me, excited and a little nervous. "Is she really staying?" Max asked. I nodded. "Yes, sweetheart. This is her home now too." Anna paused at the steps, looked up at the house, then at me. "It's bigger than Mom's apartment," she said softly. I smiled and opened my arms. She ran into them. That hug felt like the start of everything. The first few months were gentle and careful. We all tiptoed around each other, learning new rhythms. Anna had her own room at the end of the hall, the one with the window overlooking the garden. We painted it soft blue, the color Emily loved. She hung her drawings on the walls and put a photo of her mom on the nightstand. At bedtime, she'd ask for one of our old stories. "Tell me about the treehouse again," she'd say. Or, "How did you and Mom meet?" I'd sit on the edge of her bed and talk until her eyes closed. Some nights, she'd cry quietly. I'd just hold her hand until she fell asleep. Grief is like that. It comes in waves, big and small. School started in the fall. A new town, a new building, new faces. Anna was quiet the first week. She came home and drew for hours. But kids are kind when you give them a chance. Lily introduced her to her friends. Max invited her to his soccer games. Slowly, she found her place. There was a girl named Mia who loved art too. They started sitting together at lunch, sharing pencils and ideas. One day, Anna came home smiling. "Mia says I draw better than anyone in class." I hugged her. "That's because you learned from the best." Tom was wonderful through it all. He never tried to take Emily's place. He just made space for Anna in his heart. He'd take her fishing on weekends, just like my dad used to take me and Emily. "Patience," he'd say, handing her the rod. "Good things come to those who wait." She caught her first fish that fall, a little sunfish that flipped and sparkled in the sun. We took a picture and sent it to the whole family. I swear I felt Emily smiling somewhere. As the years passed, Anna grew into herself. 13 turned to 14, then 15. Her curls got longer. Her drawings got deeper. Landscapes, people, emotions on paper. She entered an art contest in 10th grade and won first place. The prize was a scholarship to a summer art camp. She was nervous about going alone. "What if I don't fit in?" she asked one night. I thought for a moment. "Your mom went to art school far away when she was young. She was scared too, but she found her people." Anna nodded slowly. "Will you come with me for the first day?" I smiled. "Of course!" We drove to the camp together. It was in the mountains, surrounded by trees and lakes. On the way, we stopped at a creek that reminded me of our old spot in Willow Creek. I told her about the cigar box, about the wishes we buried twice. She listened quietly. When we arrived, she hugged me tight. "I'll be okay, Aunt Sarah. Mom." That was the first time she called me Mom without pausing first. My heart filled up so full, I could barely speak. I watched her walk toward the other kids, backpack swinging, curls bouncing. She turned once and waved. I waved back until she disappeared into the group. That summer, she sent letters, actual handwritten ones, like Emily and I used to do. She told me about new friends, late-night talks in the cabins, painting sunsets by the lake. One letter had a sketch of two girls sitting on a dock, feet in the water. On the back, she wrote, "This is you and Mom when you were my age." I kept it in the cigar box, now on a shelf in my room, instead of buried. High school flew by. Proms, driver's license, first job at the local bookstore. Anna worked weekends, shelving books and helping customers. She'd come home with stories. Old men looking for war memoirs, little kids excited about picture books. "It feels good to help people find stories," she said one evening. I smiled. "You come from a long line of story lovers." She graduated at 18. We filled the yard with family and friends. Lily and Max, now teenagers themselves, helped decorate with string lights and flowers. Anna wore a blue dress, the same soft shade as her room. Under the oak tree, the one we planted years ago, she gave a short speech. "I lost my first mom when I was 12, she said, voice steady. "But I gained a second family who taught me love doesn't run out. It just grows bigger." She looked right at me. "Thank you for keeping her wish." There wasn't a dry eye in the yard. College came next. Anna got accepted to the same art school Emily once attended, the one in the city. Full circle. She moved into a small apartment near campus. We helped her unpack, just like Emily's parents once did for her. On the wall, she hung the old photo of me and Emily on our bikes. "So she's with me," she explained. I nodded, throat tight. She visits often. Holidays, long weekends, summer breaks. The house feels fuller when she's home. Lily is in nursing school now. Max is playing college soccer. And Anna, 21 this year, is studying graphic design with a minor in illustration. Her professors say she has real talent. She's already sold a few pieces online. Sometimes, late at night, she calls just to talk. "Mom," she'll say, "easy now, natural. Tell me another story about you and Emily." I always do. The lemonade stand. The stray cat. The night we camped in the backyard. And I tell her new ones, too. About how Emily's laugh could light up a room. How she never gave up on her dreams, even when life got hard. Last spring, Anna came home for a long weekend. We drove to Willow Creek together, just the two of us. We visited the big oak tree at the old school. It's huge now, branches spreading wide. We sat underneath it for a long time. She pulled something from her bag, a small framed drawing. It was the three of us, Emily, me, and Anna, as a little girl, holding hands under the tree. "I made this for you," she said. I traced the lines with my finger. Emily's smile was perfect. We scattered a few wildflower seeds, like we do every year. Then Anna said quietly, "I think she'd be proud." I nodded. She is, every day. That's the real ending, I think. Not a single moment, but 1,000 small ones. A promise kept over years. Love passed forward, like a light that never goes out. If you've listened this far, you've walked the whole journey with us. From a childhood friendship that felt forever, through years of silence and regret, to a hospital room where words finally found their way home. And then to a life we built around a little girl who carried both our hearts. The lesson is simple, but it took me a lifetime to learn it. Don't wait for a last wish to say what matters. Reach out today. Forgive quickly. Love without holding back. Because time is gentle, but it doesn't wait. Emily, if you're listening somewhere, thank you. For the years we had. For the daughter you trusted me with. For the letter that closed the circle. We're okay. We're more than okay. And to all of you who stayed until the very last word, thank you. This was our true story. Emily's, Anna's, and mine. If it moved you, if it reminded you of someone you love or someone you've lost touch with, please like this video, share it, and subscribe for more stories told slowly and from the heart. Life is full of quiet miracles. Sometimes they come in envelopes. Sometimes in the laugh of a child who looks just like your oldest friend. Take care of each other. Hold your people close. Good night. This was our true story. All of it. Thank you for listening. Subscribe for more real-life stories told with love. The day Anna brought her home. Hello again. It's Sarah. Whispering to you like the house is asleep and we're the only two awake. The kids are all upstairs. Yes, all three, even though they're not kids anymore. The windows are open tonight, and there's a soft summer breeze carrying the smell of cut grass and distant rain. I wasn't planning on coming back to tell you more. I thought the story ended under the oak tree, with the framed drawing and the wildflower seeds. But life, as you know, doesn't tie things up neatly. It keeps adding quiet chapters when you least expect them. This one is about a day last month that caught me off guard and filled every empty corner of my heart at the same time. So pull the blanket a little closer. Let me tell you what happened. Anna is 23 now. She finished art school 2 years ago and stayed in the city, working as a graphic designer for a small company that makes children's books. She comes home most weekends, arms full of grocery bags and new sketches to show us. She has her own apartment, a little one-bedroom with plants in every window and Emily's old scarf draped over the couch. She's independent, thoughtful, funny in that quiet way Emily always was. And for a long time, that seemed like enough. We had built a family. We had kept the promise. I thought the story would just keep rolling gently like this. Visits, holidays, stories around the dinner table. Then, one Friday evening in June, Anna called. Her voice sounded different, not upset, but full, like she was holding something big behind her words. "Mom," she said. She calls me that now without thinking. "Can I come home tomorrow? I have someone I want you to meet." My heart did a little flip. I knew what that tone meant. I'd used it myself when I brought Tom home the first time. "Of course," I said, trying to sound calm. "We'd love to meet them." She laughed softly. "It's not just a friend, Mom. Her name is Claire, and she's important." I hung up the phone and stood in the kitchen for a minute, feeling a rush of emotions I wasn't ready for. Pride, of course. A little nervousness for Anna. And something else. A deep, warm echo of Emily. Because Emily never got to fall in love as a grown woman in the way she hoped, life got complicated for her after art school. Relationships came and went, but none stayed. And here was her daughter, brave enough to bring someone home. I whispered into the quiet kitchen, "Emily, are you seeing this?" Saturday morning, Tom and I tidied the house the way parents do when their child is bringing someone special. Fresh flowers on the table, cookies baking, chocolate chip. The recipe Emily's mom taught us all those years ago. Lily and Max were home for the weekend too, so the house felt full of anticipation. We kept it light, no big fuss, but inside we were all holding our breath a little. They arrived just after lunch. Anna stepped out of the car first, curls tied back, wearing a sundress the color of summer sky. She looked happy in a way that started in her eyes and spread everywhere. Then the passenger door opened, and Claire stepped out. Tall, short dark hair, kind smile, carrying a small bouquet of wildflowers. She looked a little nervous, but Anna reached for her hand right away, and Claire relaxed. They walked up the path together, fingers laced. I opened the door before they knocked. Anna hugged me tight. "Mom, this is Claire." Claire handed me the flowers. "It's really nice to meet you, Mrs. Sarah." Her voice was warm, a little shy. I pulled her into a hug too. "We're huggers here," I said, and she laughed. Tom shook her hand, then hugged her anyway. Lily and Max said hello, trying not to stare too much. We all went inside, and the house wrapped around them like it knew they belonged. We sat on the porch with iced tea and cookies. Claire told us she's a children's librarian. She and Anna met at a book fair last fall when Anna was presenting her illustrations. Claire had picked up one of Anna's portfolios and said, "These drawings feel like hugs." Anna heard her and turned around. That was it. They've been together ever since. Watched them talk, the way they finished each other's sentences, the way Claire brushed a curl from Anna's face without thinking. And I saw something that made my throat tight. The way Anna looked at Claire was the way Emily used to look at me when we were little. Like the whole world made sense because this person was beside her. Later, when Tom took Claire on a tour of the garden to give us a moment, Anna sat next to me on the swing. "Are you okay, Mom?" she asked quietly. I nodded, eyes full. I'm more than okay. I'm grateful. She leaned her head on my shoulder like she did when she was 13 and grieving. I was nervous to bring her home, she admitted. I wanted you to love her. I kissed the top of her head. I already do, because she makes you light up the way your mom and I used to light up for each other. That night, after dinner, we all walked to the oak tree in the backyard, the one we planted the day we buried the cigar box the second time. The sun was setting, painting everything gold. Anna took Claire's hand and said, "This tree is special. It's from the old school where Mom and my first mom became friends." Claire listened while Anna told the short version, the friendship, the silence, the hospital, the promise. I stood back with Tom, Lily, and Max, letting Anna tell it in her own words. When she finished, Claire looked at the tree, then at me. "Thank you," she said softly, "for keeping Emily alive for her." I shook my head. Anna did that. I just held the door open. We stayed out until the stars came. Fireflies blinked around us like tiny lanterns. Claire asked questions about Emily, gentle ones. What was her favorite color? Did she like music? What made her laugh the hardest? Anna answered some. I answered others. And for the first time, it felt like Emily was sitting with us. Not gone, just quiet for a while. Claire stayed the whole weekend. She fit. She helped with dishes without being asked. She played cards with Max and let Lily beat her on purpose. She and Anna fell asleep on the couch, watching an old movie, Anna's head in Claire's lap. I covered them with a blanket and stood there a long time, watching them breathe together. When they left on Sunday evening, Claire hugged me goodbye on the porch. "Thank you for welcoming me," she said. I hugged her back. "Thank you for loving her." Anna hugged me last, longer than usual. "I love you, Mom." "I love you more," I whispered, the words Emily used the night she slipped away. After their car disappeared down the road, Tom put his arm around me. "Full circle," he said quietly. I nodded. More than one circle. A few weeks later, Anna sent a photo. She and Claire had gone to the big oak tree in Willow Creek, the original one. They'd scattered wildflower seeds and left a small stone painted with 2 intertwined hearts. On the back, Anna had written, "For Sarah and Emily, love keeps growing." I keep that photo on my fridge now. Some days I look at it and feel the years fold together. 6-year-olds waving from a moving truck. Teenagers drifting apart. A hospital room full of forgiveness. A backyard oak tree stretching toward the sky. And now 2 young women in love standing under the old one. Carrying our story forward. That's the thing about real love. It doesn't end. It doesn't even pause for long. It just changes shape. Friendship to family. Memory to legacy. Regret to gratitude. One generation to the next. Emily, wherever you are, look what you started. A little girl waving from a truck. A pinky swear under the stars. And now this. A whole circle of people who love because you taught us how. Thank you for listening to the very last quiet chapter. I think this time the story really is complete. Not because nothing more will happen. Life will keep surprising us. But because the heart of it is at peace. If this journey touched you, if it made you think of someone you need to call or forgive or hug a little tighter, do it today. Love is patient, but time isn't. This was our true story. Emily's, Anna's, Claire's, mine. All of ours. Take care of each other. Hold the ones you love close. And when you can, bring them home. Good night. The Wedding Under the Old Oak. Hello again, dear listener. It's Sarah, speaking to you on a soft autumn evening. The kind where the leaves turn gold and the air smells like wood smoke and memories. I thought the story had found its quiet resting place after Claire came home with Anna. I truly did. But life, in its gentle way, keeps writing new pages when you think the book is closed. This chapter is the one I never dared dream about. It happened just last month, on a Saturday in early October. The day Anna got married under the big old oak tree in Willow Creek, the very same tree Emily and I played under as children. So come, sit with me a little longer. Let this be the final, tender close to our long story. Anna and Claire had been together 5 years by then. 5 years of quiet building, shared apartments, weekend trips, holidays with us, late-night talks about the future. They were 28 and 29, steady in their love. The kind that doesn't need big gestures because it's woven into every ordinary day. One Christmas, Claire asked Tom and me for our blessing. She came to the kitchen after dinner, hands a little shaky, and said, "I want to ask Anna to marry me, but only if it's okay with you." I hugged her so tight, she laughed through happy tears. "It's more than okay," I said. "It's what Emily would have wanted most, for her girl to be loved this completely." The proposal happened the following spring, on the dock by the lake, where Anna went to art camp all those years ago. Claire had arranged for a picnic at sunset. She got down on one knee with a simple ring, white gold with a tiny engraved oak leaf. Anna said yes before Claire even finished the question. They called me from the car on the way home, both crying and laughing at the same time. I could hear the joy in their voices, like music. Planning the wedding was slow and sweet. They didn't want anything grand, just family, close friends, and the places that mattered. Anna said early on, "I want to get married under the old oak tree in Willow Creek, the one where Mom scattered her ashes, the one you and she sat under when you were little." My heart filled and ached all at once. "Are you sure?" I asked. She nodded. "It feels like she'll be there." We visited the town together to ask permission. The school had changed over the years, but the tree still stood strong in the corner of the playground, branches wide enough to shade a small gathering. The principal was kind. "We close the grounds on weekends," she said. "You're welcome to it." We walked the grounds afterward, Anna holding Claire's hand, me trailing behind with tears I didn't bother to hide. The tire swing was gone, but the roots were the same. I could almost see 2 little girls with scraped knees running circles around the trunk. The day came cool and clear. Golden light, blue sky, leaves drifting down like confetti from heaven. We kept it small, 40 people at most. White folding chairs in a half circle under the tree. A simple arch woven with wildflowers and ivy. Anna's dress was soft ivory lace, flowing, with sleeves that fluttered when she moved. Claire wore a light gray suit with a pale blue tie, the color of Emily's old bedroom. Lily was maid of honor. Max walked Anna down the path we'd made between the chairs. And me, I sat in the front row with Tom, holding the cigar box in my lap like it was the most natural thing in the world. The music was gentle, an acoustic guitar playing a song Anna and Claire loved. When Anna appeared at the edge of the grass, everyone stood. She looked radiant. Claire's face when she saw her, pure wonder. Mats kissed Anna's cheek and placed her hand in Claire's. Then he came to sit beside me, 17 now and taller than Tom, but still my little boy. The officiant was a dear friend of theirs from the city, a woman with a calm, warm voice. She spoke about love that grows slowly, like an oak from an acorn, about roots that run deep, even when branches reach in different directions. Then Anna and Claire said their vows. Anna went first. Her voice was steady, but her eyes shone. "Claire, You taught me that home isn't a place. It's the person who makes you feel safe enough to be completely yourself. You love every part of me, even the parts that still miss my first mom. You listen to her stories like they're your own. I promise to love you through every season, to draw our life together one day at a time, and to always leave room in our hearts for the people who loved us first. Claire's turn. She took a breath. Anna, from the moment you turned around at that book fair, I knew my life had changed. You carry so much love inside you, love you learned from two mothers who showed you what forever means. I promise to walk beside you, to hold your hand through joy and sorrow, to build a family that honors where we came from and dreams about where we're going. I love you more than every leaf on this tree. There wasn't a dry eye under those branches. They exchanged rings, simple bands with the same tiny oak leaf engraved inside. The officiant smiled. By the power vested in me, I pronounce you married. You may kiss. And they did. Soft, long, full of 5 years of yes. Afterward, we gathered in the school gym, decorated with string lights and long tables. Simple food, barbecue, salads, chocolate chip cookies from Emily's mom's recipe. Photos everywhere. Old ones of me and Emily as kids. Newer ones of Anna growing up. Recent ones of Anna and Claire traveling, laughing, living. On one table sat the cigar box, open. Inside, the old wishes and the new ones we'd added over the years. People stopped to read them and smile through tears. Later, when the sun dipped low, Anna found me by the tree. The guests were dancing on a small wooden platform we'd laid on the grass. She took my hands. Mom, will you dance with me? I laughed through fresh tears. Always. The guitar started a slow song, one Emily loved when we were teenagers. Anna and I swayed under the branches, her head on my shoulder for a moment just like when she was small. She whispered, I felt her today. Did you? I nodded against her hair. Every second. Then Claire joined us, and the three of us danced together. Mother, daughter, daughter-in-love. Lily and Max came over. Tom, too. We made a little circle under the oak, holding each other while leaves drifted down around us like quiet blessings. That night back home, I sat on the porch alone for a while. The house was full of overnight guests, laughter drifting from inside. I looked up at the stars, the same ones Emily and I pinky swore under when we were 10. And I spoke out loud, soft as a prayer. Emily, look what we made. Look at our girl. All grown, all loved, all whole. You gave her to me, and together we gave her wings. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for the long way around. We kept the promise. A breeze moved through the trees, gentle and warm for October. I smiled. I swear I felt her answer. This really is the last chapter, my friend. The wedding under the old oak closed the circle in a way softer and more beautiful than I could have written myself. If there's one quiet truth this long story leaves behind, it's this. Love doesn't run out, fade with distance or silence or even death. It passes forward. It grows new branches. It shelters the next ones who need shade. So call the friend you've been meaning to call. Forgive the misunderstanding that's lasted too long. Scatter wildflower seeds in the places that matter. And when love comes knocking, whether in a moving truck when you're 6, or in a hospital room when you're grown, or walking up your path hand in hand with someone new, open the door. Thank you for walking this whole journey with me. From the first unexpected message to the last dance under the oak. You've held space for every tear and every smile. This was our true story. Emily's, Anna's, Claire's, mine, and now yours a little bit too. Hold your people close. Tell them the stories. Keep the wishes alive. Good night, sweet listener, and thank you, the little one who looks like her. Hello again, my dear listener. It's Sarah, speaking to you from the rocking chair in the nursery, the one Tom built when Willie was born, and we've rocked every child in since. The room is dim. Just the soft glow of a nightlight shaped like a moon. Outside, it's early January. Cold air, bare branches tapping the window. Snow quietly falling like it's trying not to wake anyone. I thought the wedding under the oak was the perfect ending. I really did. But endings, I've learned, are just places where we pause to catch our breath before love writes the next line. This chapter is brand new, only a few weeks old. It's about the tiniest person who has ever carried Emily's eyes. So stay with me a little longer. Let me tell you about the day our family grew again. Anna and Claire had been married 3 years when they started talking seriously about children. Quiet conversations at first, over coffee in their city kitchen, on long walks in the park where they scattered Emily's ashes all those years ago. They weren't in a rush. They wanted to be ready, to have the space, the stability, the love overflowing. Anna would call me sometimes after those talks. "Mom," she'd say, voice soft with wonder, "do you think I'd be a good mother?" I'd smile into the phone. "Sweetheart, you've been practicing your whole life. You learned from the best, and you've become her in all the ways that matter." They decided to adopt. It felt right to both of them, bringing a child who needed a home into the one they'd built with so much care. The process was long. Paperwork, home visits, waiting. There were hard days when hope felt thin. I'd drive to the city and sit with them, making tea, listening. Claire would rest her head on Anna's shoulder. Anna would draw tiny sketches of what their family might look like one day. And we'd wait together. Then, last November, the call came. A baby girl, born prematurely but strong, needing a family right away. Her birth mother had chosen adoption with an open heart, wanting more for her daughter than she could give at that moment. The agency asked if Anna and Claire would like to meet her. They said yes before the sentence was finished. They called me from the hospital parking lot, voices shaking. "Mom, she's so small. She has these dark curls already, and her eyes, they're brown like Mom's, like mine." I cried in my kitchen, flour on my hands from baking bread. "Go meet her," I said. "Go fall in love." They did. The first photo they sent was of Anna holding the tiny bundle, tears streaming down her face, Claire's arm around them both. The baby was wrapped in a soft white blanket, eyes closed, tiny fist against her cheek. I zoomed in on those curls and felt my heart stop for a second. Emily. They named her Ella, after Emily, but soft and new. Ella Rose. Rose for the wild roses that grow near the old oak tree in summer. I drove to the city the next day. Tom stayed home with the house, but he kissed me goodbye and said, "Tell our girls we're ready whenever they need us." I walked into the hospital room carrying a small quilt I'd made over the years, patches from Anna's childhood clothes, a square from one of Emily's old scarves, even a piece of the blanket we used in the backyard tent when we were kids. Anna was in the bed, exhausted and glowing. Claire sat beside her, holding Ella like she was the most precious thing in the world. Anna looked up when I came in. "Mom, meet your granddaughter." I took Ella into my arms. 4 pounds, 13 ounces of perfect miracle. And the years folded together again. Those brown eyes opened for a moment, looked right at me. And I swear, in the quiet of that room, Emily was there. Not as a ghost or a memory, but as love made new. The first weeks were a blur of midnight feedings, tiny clothes, and wonder. Anna and Claire brought Ella home to their apartment. I stayed for a month to help, cooking, laundry, rocking when they needed sleep. We'd sit on their couch in the half-light, passing Ella between us like a treasure. Claire would hum old lullabies. Anna would trace Ella's tiny fingers and whisper, "You're so loved already. You have two mommies who fought hard to find you, and a grandma who's been waiting her whole life to meet someone who looks just like her oldest friend." One night, when Ella was about 6 weeks old, Anna asked me to tell the story again, the long one. We were in the nursery, Ella finally asleep in the crib. Moonlight came through the window. I started from the beginning. The moving truck, the wave, the treehouse, the lemonade stand, the drift, the silence, the message, the hospital, the promise. Anna listened like she always does, but this time with tears sliding quietly down her cheeks. When I reached the part about Emily's last words, "I love you more," Anna reached over and took my hand. "She's here, Mom, in Ella's curls, in the way she smiles already, in us." I nodded, throat too full for words. Before I left to go home, Anna gave me something. A new drawing, framed. It was the 4 generations now. Emily as a young woman, me holding baby Anna years ago, Anna holding newborn Ella, and in the corner, a faint outline of Ella grown, holding someone else's hand. Underneath, in Anna's careful lettering, "Love keeps growing. Thank you for starting the chain." I hung it in our hallway when I got home. Every time I pass it, I pause. Sometimes I touch Emily's face in the drawing and whisper, "Look what you did. Look how far your love reached." Ella is 3 months old now. She came home for Christmas, her first. We bundled her up and brought her to Willow Creek on a clear, cold day. The old oak was bare, but strong. We stood under it, Tom, Lily, Max, and me. Anna, Claire, me, and tiny Ella in Anna's arms. Snow crunched under our boots. We didn't say much, just stood together while the wind moved through the branches. Anna looked up at the tree, then at Ella. "This is where it all began," she said softly. "2 little girls who promised to be friends forever. And here we are. Forever turned out bigger than we imagined." I reached over and tucked Ella's blanket tighter. Those brown eyes blinked up at the sky, calm and curious. And in that moment, under the tree that held Emily's ashes and all our wishes, I felt the circle close again. Wider, warmer, fuller than ever. This is truly the last page, my friend. The little one who looks like her has arrived, and with her comes the quiet certainty that the story isn't over. It's just passed gently into new hands. If there's anything this long journey has taught me, it's that love is patient beyond measure. It waits through silence. It heals old regrets. It travels across years and generations. And it always finds a way to grow. So hold your people close tonight. Tell the stories. Keep the promises. Scatter the wildflower seeds. And trust that love will do what it's always done. Reach farther than we can see. Thank you for staying with me through every chapter, from a childhood wave to a newborn's first snow. You've been part of the circle now. This was our true story. Emily's, Anna's, Claire's, Ella's, mine. Good night, sweet listener. May your own story keep growing too. The box we open together. Hello again, my sweet listener. It's Sarah, speaking to you from the backyard on a warm, late summer afternoon. The sun is low, filtering through the leaves of our little oak tree, the one we planted all those years ago. Ella is 5 now, running barefoot across the grass with Lily's old butterfly net, chasing fireflies that aren't even out yet. Her curls bounce just like Anna's did, just like Emily's did. Her laughter fills the air, light and free. I'm sitting on the porch steps with Anna and Claire, watching her, feeling the kind of peace that only comes after a long, long journey. I truly believed the story ended with Ella's arrival, but there was one more quiet chapter waiting, one that brought everything back to where it began. So stay with me just a little longer. This is the part where the circle doesn't just close. It opens into something even wider. Last month, on a quiet Saturday, Anna and Claire brought Ella home for the weekend. She's in kindergarten now, full of questions and stories from school. We had planned a simple day, picnic under our oak tree, baking cookies, maybe a walk to the creek. But Ella had her own plan. She marched into the house, carrying her little backpack, eyes serious. "Grandma," she said, using the name she settled on when she was 3. "I need to dig." I laughed. "Dig for what, sweetheart?" She put her hands on her hips, just like Anna does. "For the treasure! Mommy said there's a box under the tree with secrets." Anna's eyes widened. She looked at me, surprised. I didn't think she was listening that closely last time I told the story. Claire smiled softly. She always listens. I felt my heart do that familiar fold, the one where past and present touch. The cigar box. We'd buried it again after adding wishes on Anna's wedding day, promising to leave it until Ella was old enough to understand. But 5, apparently, was old enough for Ella. She wouldn't let it go. "Please, Grandma, the secrets are lonely down there." How do you say no to that? So we got the little garden trowel, the same one we used when she was a toddler planting sunflowers, and walked out to the tree together. Ella led the way, curls bouncing, barefoot and determined. Anna, Claire, Tom, Lily, Max and I followed like a quiet procession. The tree had grown so much, its trunk thicker, branches reaching wide, roots gently lifting the earth where we buried the box. Ella knelt and started digging with fierce concentration. We let her do most of it, helping only when the dirt got deep. Finally, the trowel hit something solid. She brushed the soil away with her small hands. There it was, the rusty old cigar box, weathered but intact, earth clinging to its edges like it had been hugging it all these years. We carried it to the porch steps and sat in a circle. Ella wanted to open it herself. Her little fingers worked the lid carefully. Inside were all the layers of our lives, the original wishes from when Emily and I were 14, the ones we added when Anna was 13, the ones from her wedding day, and a few more slipped in over the years. Faded papers, curled at the edges, but the words still clear. I read them aloud, one by one. First, Emily's teenage wish. I wish to live in a house with a yellow door. Then mine. I wish Emily never leaves me. Even when we're old ladies, I want her beside me. Ella listened, head tilted. Did it come true? Anna smiled. Yes, baby, in the best way. Next, Anna's wish at 13. I wish to be brave like my mom and kind like Aunt Sarah. Ella looked at her mommy. You are brave. Then the wedding wishes, Anna's for a life full of love, Claire's for a family that honors the past. Ella traced the papers with her finger. Can I add one? We all nodded. Claire pulled a fresh strip of paper and a pencil from her bag. She's always prepared. Ella thought hard, tongue poking out in concentration. Then she wrote, slow and careful. I wish to keep the secrets safe and tell them to my kids someday. My eyes filled instantly. Anna's did too. Claire reached over and squeezed my hand. We let Ella close the box. Then she stood up and declared, "We have to bury it deeper this time, so it waits longer." We laughed through tears. Together, all 7 of us, 3 generations under one tree, dug a new spot near the roots. Ella placed the box in gently, like tucking it to sleep. We covered it with dirt, patted it smooth, and Ella laid a small flat stone on top. "So we remember where," she said. That night, after Ella was asleep upstairs, the adults sat on the porch with glasses of iced tea. Fireflies blinked in the dark like tiny stars come down to visit. Anna leaned against Claire. "Mom," she said quietly, "do you ever think it's strange how one friendship, one promise led to all of this?" I looked out at the tree, its leaves whispering in the breeze. "Not strange," I said. "Miraculous." Emily waved at me from a moving truck when we were 6. She couldn't have known that wave would ripple this far, but it did, through silence and regret, through hospital rooms and forgiveness, through weddings and babies and buried boxes. One small hello became all of you. Claire rested her head on Anna's shoulder. "And now, Ella will carry it forward." Tom put his arm around me. "The tree keeps growing," he said simply. I thought about Emily then, how she never got to see Anna graduate, or walk her down the aisle, or hold Ella. But in a way, she's in every part of it. In the curls, in the laughter, in the way Anna mothers with fierce gentleness, in the stories we still tell, in the box waiting patiently under the roots. The next morning, before they left for the city, Ella hugged me tight around the legs. "Grandma, when I'm big, I'll dig it up again, and I'll bring my kids." I knelt down to her level. "I know you will, sweetheart, and I'll be waiting right here to hear the new wishes." They drove away, Ella waving from her car seat until they turned the corner. I stood on the porch a long time, watching the empty road. Then I walked back to the tree and placed my hand on the trunk. The bark was warm from the sun. "Emily," I whispered, "we did it. We kept the promise. And look, they're still keeping it for us." A soft wind moved through the branches, rustling the leaves like quiet applause. This, my friend, is where I finally lay the story down. Not because there won't be more chapters. There will be birthdays and graduations, more wishes in the box, more love passing forward. But because the heart of it is complete. A childhood friendship that refused to end. A last wish that became a lifetime. A circle that grew wide enough to hold all of us. If you've listened through every part, from the unexpected message to this quiet afternoon under the tree, thank you. You've held the weight and the joy with me. You've become part of the circle too. So here's the gentle truth this long journey leaves behind. Love doesn't need to be loud or perfect. It just needs to begin. One wave, one promise, one buried box, and then it grows on its own through years and generations, stronger than time. Reach out to the person you've been thinking about. Tell the stories, keep the wishes alive, and trust that even the smallest hello can change everything. This was our true story. Emily's, Anna's, Claire's, Ella's, mine, and now a little bit yours. Hold your people close. Plant something that will outlive you. And when the time comes, let the children dig. Good night, sweet listener. Thank you for walking all the way home with us. The day I said goodbye to the story. Hello again, my dear patient listener. It's Sarah speaking to you one last time from the porch swing on a quiet evening in early fall. The crickets are singing softly. The air smells like turning leaves and distant rain. Ella is 10 now, tall for her age, curls wild, always with a sketchbook tucked under her arm. She's inside helping Anna bake cookies for tomorrow's school fundraiser. Claire is reading to our newest little one, Ella's baby brother, Leo, born just last spring. His dark eyes and tiny smile remind me of old photos of Emily holding newborn Anna. Tom is in his chair, glasses on, reading the paper like he's done every evening for decades. Lily and Max are out in the world now, Lily nursing in the city, Max coaching soccer at a high school 2 towns over. But they'll be home this weekend. The house feels full, even when it's quiet. I've told you this story in pieces over what feels like years. From the unexpected message that shook my world, through the hospital room where forgiveness finally found us, to the weddings and babies and buried boxes that kept love growing long after Emily was gone. I thought each chapter was the last. But tonight, something gentle told me it's time to close the book. Not because the living stops, but because the telling does. This is part 10. The day I say goodbye to the story, and hello to simply living it. A few weeks ago, Ella came to me with a question that stopped me in my tracks. We were under our backyard oak, the tree that's grown so tall its branches shade half the yard now. She was lying on her back, looking up through the leaves, the way Anna used to do. Out of nowhere, she asked, "Grandma, when you and Great Emily were little, did you know your friendship would turn into all of us?" I sat down beside her in the grass. The question was so big for a 10-year-old, but Ella has always carried big questions. I thought for a long moment. "No, sweetheart," I said softly. "We didn't know. We were just 2 little girls who liked playing together. We promised to be friends forever, but we had no idea what forever would ask of us, or what it would give." She turned her head to look at me. "But it worked. The promise." I smiled, eyes filling the way they still do when I think too hard about Emily. It did. Not in the way we pictured when we were 6 and 10 and 14, but in a deeper way, a wider way. Ella sat up then, grass in her curls. "I'm glad you kept telling me the story, but I think I know it by heart now." She reached over and took my hand, her small one warm in mine. "You don't have to keep saying it out loud anymore. We're living it." And just like that, with the sun filtering through the oak leaves onto her face, I felt something settle inside me. A quiet permission to let the telling go. That night, after everyone was asleep, I walked out to the tree alone. The moon was almost full, silver light on the grass. I placed my hand on the trunk, like I've done 1,000 times. And I spoke to Emily, not in tears this time, but in peace. "Emily," I whispered, "our girl is right. The story doesn't need me to carry it anymore." It's in Anna's laugh when she reads to Leo. It's in Claire's gentle way of loving them both. It's in Ella's drawings and the questions she asks and the way she chases fireflies like we once did. It's in Max coaching kids who need someone to believe in them. In Lily healing people the way you healed me with forgiveness. It's even in Tom's quiet strength that held me up so I could hold everyone else. You started this with a wave from a moving truck. I kept it going with a plane ticket and an open heart. And now it's theirs. The promise is safe. Thank you for trusting me with your little girl. Thank you for the long way around. Thank you for every single day we had, and for every day your love keeps making possible. I'm letting the story rest now, not because it's over, because it's complete, and because living it is enough. A soft breeze moved through the branches then, like a sigh of agreement. Leaves rustled gently overhead, And for the first time in all these years, I didn't feel regret or ache. Just gratitude. Full, warm, overflowing gratitude. I walked back inside, closed the door quietly, and turned off the porch light. So here we are, my friend, at the end of the telling. If you've stayed with me through every part, through the tears in the hospital, the joy at the weddings, the wonder of babies, and buried boxes, and fireflies, thank you. You've held this story with such care. You've let it live in your heart for a little while. And now I release it to you too. Carry it gently if it helps you reach out to someone you've lost, or forgive someone you've carried too long, or open your door to love in whatever form it knocks. But most of all, live your own story with your whole heart. Make promises you mean. Keep them the long way if you have to. Plant something that will outlive you. And trust that even the smallest hello can ripple farther than you'll ever know. Emily, Anna, Claire, Ella, Leo, Tom, Lily, Max, we're all okay. We're more than okay. We're forever. And you, sweet listener, thank you for walking this long, winding road with me. This was our true story. Now it's time to simply live it. Good night. Hold your people close. The porch light is off now, but the door is always open.